Srimad-Bhagavatam 5.6.19 Nityanubhuta nijalabha nivritta trishnaha Shreyasya tadrachanaya chirasupta buddhe Lokasya yah karunaya bhayamatma lokam Akhyan namo bhagavate Ṛṣabhaya tasmai Nitya Anubhuta. Due to being always conscious of his real identity, Nijalabha Nivritta Trishnaha, who has complete in himself, who was complete in himself and had no other desire to fulfill. Shreyasi, in life's genuine welfare. Atat Rachanaya, by expanding activities in the material field, mistaking the body for the self. Chira, for a long time. Supta, sleeping. Buddhe, whose intelligence. Lokasya, of men. Yah, who, Lord Ṛṣabhadeva. Karunaya, by his causeless mercy. Abhayam, fearlessness. Atmalokam, the real identity of the self. Akhyat, instructed. Namaha, respectful obeisances. Bhagavate, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ṛṣabhaya, unto Lord Ṛṣabhadeva. Tasmai, unto him. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ṛṣabhadeva, was fully aware of his true identity. Therefore, he was self-sufficient and he did not desire external gratification. There was no need for him to aspire for success since he was complete in himself. Those who unnecessarily engage in bodily conceptions and create an atmosphere of materialism are always ignorant of their real self-interest. Out of his causeless mercy, Lord Ṛṣabhadeva taught the self's real identity and the goal of life. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto the Lord who appeared as Lord Ṛṣabhadeva. Please repeat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ṛṣabhadeva, was fully aware of his true identity. Therefore, he was self-sufficient and he did not desire external gratification. There was no need for him to aspire for success since he was complete in himself. Those who unnecessarily engage in bodily conceptions and create an atmosphere of materialism are always ignorant of their real self-interest. Out of his causeless mercy, Lord Ṛṣabhadeva taught the self's real identity and the goal of life. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto the Lord who appeared as Lord Ṛṣabhadeva. Purport. This is the summary of this chapter in which the activities of Lord Ṛṣabhadeva are described. Being the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, Lord Ṛṣabhadeva is complete in himself. We living entities as parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord should follow the instructions of Lord Ṛṣabhadeva and become self-sufficient. We should not create unnecessary demands due to the bodily conception. When one is self-realized, he is sufficiently satisfied due to being situated in his original spiritual position. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 1854, Brahma Bhutah Prasannatma Nashochati Nakangshati. This is the goal of all living entities. Even though one may be situated within this material world, he can become fully satisfied and devoid of hankering and lamentation simply by following the instructions of the Lord as set forth in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. Satisfaction through self-realization is called Svarupananda. The conditioned soul, eternally sleeping in darkness, does not understand his self-interest. He simply tries to become happy by making material adjustments, but this is impossible. And it is therefore said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Nate viduh swartha gatim hi Vishnum. Due to gross ignorance, the conditioned soul does not know that his real self-interest is to take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. To try to become happy by adjusting the material atmosphere is a useless endeavor. Indeed, it is impossible. By his personal behavior and instructions, Lord Ṛṣabhadeva enlightened the conditioned soul and showed him how to become self-sufficient in his spiritual identity. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th canto, 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Activities of Lord Ṛṣabhadeva. Nityanubhuta nijalabha nivritta trishna Shreyasya tad rachanaya Chirasupta buddhe lokasya yah karunaya bhayamatmalokam Akhyam namo bhagavate Ṛṣabhaya tasmai. Every word is very meaningful here. First thing is, a person has to be sufficiently self-satisfied in order for him to even consider other people's distress. A person in this material world is usually entangled or embarrassed by so many miseries himself. So as he is struggling to get out of this material entanglement, he has no time to think about others' welfare. For example, in materialistic financial matters, those who are rich, they try to think of others' welfare, at least they're supposed to. Mostly they are also entangled in their own greed. But at least those who have some welfare mentality for others, when they are rich, then they can think, suppose a poor man, how much can he, even if he thinks, he has no time to do it, he has no means, and he has to struggle to even maintain himself. So that's just the financial aspect of it. Similarly, if our mind, if our brain is preoccupied with so much miseries of ourselves, then we cannot actually think about others. Paradukha dukhi is a symptom of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava is paradukha dukhi. He has no personal dukkha, but his dukkha is to see other people dukkha, or his misery is to see other people miserable. Vairagyayug bhaktirasam prayatnair apayayanmam anabhepsumandham kripambudhirya paradukha dukhi sanatanastam prabhumashrayami. So this is written by Raghunath Das Goswami praising Sanatan Goswami. He said, I was unwilling to drink the nectar of devotional service, possessed of renunciation. But Sanatan Goswami, out of his causeless mercy, made me drink it, even though I was otherwise unable to do so. Therefore, he is an ocean of mercy. He is very compassionate to fallen souls like me, and thus it is my duty to offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. Usually, we don't have Vairagyayug Bhakti Rasam. We don't have taste for devotion imbued with renunciation. We may theoretically accept the concept of renunciation, but practically speaking, what is the meaning of renunciation? Renouncing means to renounce the sense gratification and to execute the order of the spiritual master. That is renunciation. So practically, we fall short. We theorize and then, are very happy talking about renunciation and surrender, but to actually do it is another thing. Um, there is a nice article, I think we did a lecture on this by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It was titled Thakur Bhakti Vinod. So in that, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives very deep explanations about what is the real standard of a preacher. He gave an example. For example, we may quote um, innumerable verses signifying the potency of the holy name. But to actually realize those potencies mentioned in those verses is another thing. And a person who has realized those potencies of the holy name, when he speaks about the holy name, it carries a different potency, power. And therefore, hearing from the pure devotee is very essential, therefore. Of course, when we repeat the words of a pure devotee, it is what we should do. And because it is the instruction of the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we should repeat his instructions. And if the words carry any potency, it is only because of the strength of the order of the spiritual master and not due to the potency of the speaker himself when he is not realized. Yes. Nigamakalpataror galitam phalamidam sukhamukad amrita dravasamyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka shukamukhad amrita dravasamyutam. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of the Sri Sukadeva Goswami, therefore this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarine juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. So in fact, there is another quote by Srila Prabhupada, when a pure devotee chants, it is many thousand times more powerful. What is that? Fourth canto, yeah? 4:20:25. Where Prabhupada says, when chanted by pure devotee, I think Lord Shiva tells in the Rudra Gita, chanted by a pure devotee, it becomes many times more powerful. So, this is the thing. So, unless one is realized, but how to become realized? By only following the order of the spiritual master and constantly reminding ourselves of found it? Not found. Is more powerful, when chanted by a pure devotee. Somewhere in the Rudra Gita, when Lord Shiva is preaching to the Prachetas, I think 424, that chapter, Canto 4, chapter 24. Somewhere it is there, if I'm not wrong. So, a pure devotee, he is realized. So, a person who is Nijalabha Purna, Krishna is of course Nijalabha Purna, Nivritta Trishnai. 4:24-32. Oh, Maitreya. Maitreya uvacha iti anukrosha hridayo bhagavan ahatan shivaha baddhanjalin rajaputran narayana paro vachaha. Great sage Maitreya continued, out of his causeless mercy, the exalted personality Lord Shiva, a great devotee of Lord Narayana, continued to speak to the king's sons who were standing with folded hands. Lord Shiva voluntarily came to bless the sons of the king as well as to do something beneficial for them. He personally chanted the mantra so that the mantra would be more powerful. And he advised that the mantra be chanted by the king's sons, Rajaputras. When a mantra is chanted by a great devotee, the mantra becomes more powerful. What is that? Shastri kurvanti shastrani. The statements of the scripture become more powerful when chanted by a pure devotee. This is from the Narada Bhakti Sutra, 69th verse. Although the Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra is powerful in itself, a disciple upon initiation receives the mantra from his spiritual master. For when the mantra is chanted by the spiritual master, it becomes more powerful. Lord Shiva advised the sons of the king to hear him attentively, for inattentive hearing is offensive. So, this is the potency, Nijalabha and Nivritta Trishnaha. Today, Nitya Anubhuta, due to being always conscious of his real identity. What is that? Bhakti, Anubhava, Virakti. Pareshanubhava, yeah. Pareshanubhava or Nitya Anubhuta is the same thing. He is experiencing. It's not that he is only theorizing. Nitya Anubhuta. He is actually conscious and practically he is experiencing. Nijalabha. He is self-sufficient. And Nivritta Trishnaha. He is freed from all kinds of miseries of material existence. And therefore he can be Paradukha Dukhi. Lokasya karunaya abhayam atmalokam. You see, karunaya. Karuna means mercy. And lokasya karunaya. What is that? Tyaktva turnam. Tyaktva turnam asesha mandalapatim. What is that? Sada tuchhavat. Bhutva dina ganeshakau karunaya kaupina kanthashritau. So karunaya. So this is for the mercy of to exhibit mercy for the fallen souls. They reduce the Nijalabha Purna devotees, they reduce their material activities because they don't need anyway. They are, what is that? Anywhere happy. What is that? 12:16. 12:15, I think. यस्मान् नोद्विजते लोको लोकान् नोद्विजते च यः हर्षामर्ष भयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः. I think 12:17. अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष. यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न कांक्षति शुभाशुभ परित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः. And 12:16. Let's read the 12:17 translation. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. This is called Nijalabha devotee. The Lord is Nijalabha Purna because he is full of six opulences. The devotee has the Lord in his heart and he wants nothing more than just the opportunity of service to the Lord, which can be had even by the poorest of people. Therefore, a devotee does not need anything. अनपेक्षः सुचिर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः समे प्रियः. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Not striving for some result. This is called Nijalabha. Hindus, they put Shubh Labh always. They want Shubh and Labh, auspiciousness and gain materially. Any religion they do is only for these two things. So, but Nijalabha means he does not need anything. And 12:15. Only such a person who is self-satisfied, he can live like this. Yasman nodvijate loko, lokan nodvijate chayah, harshamarsa bhayodvegair mukto yah sachame priyaha. He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. These are all signs of Nijalabha. Yeah, Santushtah Satatam Yogi, that is the word. Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Maitrah Karuna Evacha Nirmamo Nirahankarah Samadukha Sukha Shami. Santushtah Satatam Yogi Yatatma Dridhanishchayaha Mayarpitamano Buddhir Yomad Bhakta Same Priyaha. One who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Similar word is here for, not this one. Is that? The 4:19, what is that verse? Santushto yena kenachit. This is which was 12, 18 and 19. समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखेषु समः संगविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दा स्तुतिर्मौनी संतुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः. Santushto yena kenachit. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. There is this verse in the fourth canto, what is that? 4:31:19, sorry. दयया सर्वभूतेषु सन्तुष्ट्या येन केन वा सर्वेन्द्रियोपशान्त्या च तुष्यत्याशु जनार्दनः. By showing mercy to all living entities, being satisfied somehow or other, and controlling the senses from sense enjoyment, one can very quickly satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Janardana. So this is called Nijalabha and Nivritta Trishnaha. So unless one is in that position, he cannot bother about thinking about others' misery. And those people like philanthropists and altruists who try to think about others' misery and try to solve their problems cannot do so effectively because they don't address the root of the problem. They don't address the root of the problem. What is the root of the problem? Atatrachanaya. See? Atatrachanaya. By expanding activities in the material field, mistaking the body for the self. This is the root of the problem. People do not understand actually what is the real problem. Nate vidu swarthagatim hi Vishnum. So, atat rachanaya. What is not supposed to be done, they do it with great care. What is not supposed to be. And when they do it with great care and achieve something, they actually glorify themselves all, or praise themselves, or praise others who have solved something or done something which should not have even been done in the first place. Recently, we also commented on the Chandrayaan thing. Even if they did go to the moon, it is a aim which is not even worthy of undertaking. So even if they went there, Bhagavad Gita already condemns. Those who are less intelligent, they worship the demigods and go to the planets of the demigods. The intelligent people worship Krishna and go back to his planet. So, even if we can actually go to the moon planet and take full advantage of the life there, with full interactions with the demigods there and living in those cities, even then it is condemned. What to speak of finding some stone and coming back without even able to breathe air there? What is the point? Something which should not even been done. So much money wasted, so much time and energy and resources wasted. It certainly takes a lot of intelligence to put a spacecraft in some other heavenly body. But all that intelligence is a waste of time, waste of intelligence, in fact. How much, just imagine those scientists, how much tension they must be going through. Huh? What Shakti? Vikshepatmika Shakti. Prakshepatmika Shakti. Prakshepatmika. Vikshepatmika what? Avaranatmika, Prakshepatmika. So, people, they get deviated from the real aim of life and do something very meticulously that should not have even been done. So this is atadrachanaya, making plans. Maya sukhaya bharam udvahato vimodhan. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I am concerned for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans. Elaborate plans to solve so-called problems, which are, let's be very honest, what problem did the Chandrayaan mission solve? They say, oh, it is the beginning of problem, we'll solve problems later. First of all, we'll see how to go there. If, what a waste. How much interested can you be in a desert? Go to Sahara Desert and at least you have air to breathe there. Really want to pick up some rocks or sand. So Shreyasi means people are not interested. Today's song that we sang, what is that? Emona durmati samsara bhitore podiya achinu ami. What is that? Kono mahajane. What is that? Nija. What is that? Tava nija jan kono mahajane pathaya dile tumi. So I am not interested. Emona durmati. Samsara bhitore podiya achinu ami. I am lost in this world. Then what happened? Tava nija jan, Krishna's own confidential associate. Kono mahajane, some great soul has come. Pathaya, he taught me and he gave you to me. That is Vaishnav. He can give Krishna to a person who is, not even interested, not even qualified. Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro. Pathaya dile tumi. So, we are not interested. Atat rachanaya. But Shreyasi. The devotees are thinking of the welfare. Usually, when a person is drowning, a lifeguard who can save, if he goes, Whatever opportunity that drowning man has, he will cling on to whatever the lifeguard throws at him so that he can save his life. In other words, he is willing. He is willing to be saved. He understands his precarious position. He wants to be saved. The pure devotee is a lifeguard who is jumping into the water and trying to save a person who is pushing him away. "Hey, I want to drown. Who are you? Why are you trying to disturb my drowning process?" So that is how we are. And we don't even want to be saved. You know. Atat rachanaya. And chirasupta buddhe, very, very nice word. For a long time we have been sleeping. Om ajnana timira andhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. So we have been sleeping. What is that? Uttishtha jagrata prapta varan nibodhata क्षुरस्य धारा निशिता दुरत्यया दुर्गम पथस्तत् कवयो वदन्ति. Upanishad, they say uttisthata. Uttisthata is Vivekananda borrowed from here. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. What is the goal? You don't know. So uttisthata jagrata, arise, awake. Prapta varan nibodhata, you have achieved this rare human form of life. Kshurasya dhara, nishita duratyaya, very razor sharp edge. This life is like walking on a razor sharp edge. Nishita, very sharp. And duratyaya, very difficult to cross. Durgam pathas, the path is very difficult. So we can't wait for the last moment. Chalta hai. When the time comes, I will do it. No. Wake up now. Uttishtata jagrata. So, we are chirasupta buddhe. Our intelligence, our mind, we are completely in ignorance. Sleeping, slumber, snoring. That is our... actually, we are snoring. Making a lot of noise. How much noise? What is this? Twitter. Everybody, actually birds also chirp. So much noise you will hear in the morning and evening. So much deafening noise. What are they saying? Where is food? Where is ahar, nidra, bhaya, maithuna? Food, sleeping, sex and shelter. That's all. So that is sound. So when we are sleeping, quietly not snoring and sleeping. Sound, making so much sound. Nothing productive. Already sleeping is unproductive. Snoring on top of that, creating problems for others. That is our current condition. Making unnecessary noise. So all the people who are talking under the shelter of Maya are just like snoring on that. Nobody likes to sleep anywhere close to a snoring person because disturbed or cannot do anything beside. So like that. Chirasupta buddheham. Lokasya yaha karunaya. Not only they are sleeping, they are full of bhaya also. Bhaya, fear. They do not know what is going to happen next. So karunaya abhayam atmalokam. To give abhayam. To give fearlessness. That is the pure devotee's mission. How to make everybody fearless. What is that? Abhaya Charanāravindare. What is that? First one. Bhajahu Remana. Bhajahu Remana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanāravindare. So Abhaya Charanāravinda. So Krishna is Abhaya Charanāravinda. And by worshipping him, we can get also Abhayam. He is the shelter of fearlessness. So that Krishna, people do not know. Nate vidu swarthagatim hi Vishnu. They do not know. And therefore, the pure devotee, causeless mercy. What is the meaning of causeless mercy? It took me a while to even understand. Many times I heard causeless mercy, causeless mercy. After some years, I was thinking, what is this causeless mercy? Mercy, I can understand. What is causeless? Without cause mercy. What is the meaning of that? So the meaning is that there is no reason, first of all, to show mercy on us. There is no reason. There is no cause. Not that we have become, fit recipients of mercy. Not really. And neither did we ask for it. If somebody asks for help, I help, that is understood. Nobody asked. And when you are helping, he's shooing you away. Hey, get out. What is this nonsense you're talking? Disturbing me all the time. So there is no cause. Nobody asked him, and neither was he fit. But this is our movement. Vaishnav means that. Prabhupada said, preaching is a thankless task. Patra patra vichar nahi nahi sthana sthan jai jaha paye taha kore premadan. In distributing love of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates did not consider who was a fit candidate and who was not, nor where such distribution should or should not take place. They made no conditions. This is Vaishnava. No conditions. Who is fit and who is not fit? Okay, they want to distribute everywhere. Of course, a person who is willing to take, or at least is awakened, or at least is willing to be awakened, can be saved. But a person who does not, like Srila Prabhupada went to the West, not all people joined his movement. Those who were somehow or other somewhat sincere, they came in contact. So those who, pure devotee went there, still they could not take advantage. But there is a saying, grab the opportunity of a lifetime. Grab the opportunity of a lifetime within the lifetime of that opportunity. The opportunity may not last very long. But it may be the opportunity of a lifetime or even many lifetimes. So we should grab the opportunity of not just a lifetime, but many lifetimes within the lifetime of that opportunity. So there's this classic, iconic photo of Srila Prabhupada walking with his devotees in the park. And there was one man sitting on the bench of the park and sleeping. And Prabhupada was walking past. So this is exactly what is happening to the vast majority of people. So, he was asleep when the greatest thing was happening right in front of him. A pure devotee is walking right in front of him, and he was sleeping. So he did not even recognize the opportunity. This is the misfortune, that we can be physically very close, but worlds apart from making the right choice. So physical distance is one thing, but I would say karmic distance or dharmic distance. How karma, how far we are. For example, just few steps away is the hawker center here, where people eating all sorts of nonsense. All sorts of nonsense. They are proximity-wise very close. But they have no access to this place, although the doors are open. They have no access to this place. For them it is locked. Not physically locked. Their karma doesn't allow, they're karmically locked. They're locked away. But we had during Rath Yatra people coming from thousands of kilometers away. Even before that, when Baladev Vidyabhushan came, Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu, I was thinking, wow, he just came here to spend 5 days with the devotees. just because he had to go out of his country because of some visa issues. So he chose to spend that 5 days about halfway across the globe. You know, whereas people who are just next door, they are not coming here. You see how access is there. Similarly, this is another point I was trying to make. To go to moon, physical travel will not do. Even if we physically travel, we cannot. If we are not in the mode of goodness, we cannot access that place. Because according to our karma, according to our association, according to our modes, we cannot. So, and places which are, even, for example, in the Himalayas, now it is said that Vyasadeva is still there in the Badrinath. Everybody is going to Badrinath, nobody finds him. Where is he? Because he is in Uttar Badri, which is a subtle realm of Himalayas, which is not accessible to man. Madhvacharya could go there. So, access is there for those who are qualified. Just like, sometimes here there is no entry, sometimes there is a restricted entry, only for authorized personnel. Like that. Who are authorized, they can go. So, Krishna consciousness is available to everyone at all times actually. For example, when I was a small kid, I was staying in our ancestral house, in my ancestral house, which was in Hyderabad, in Nampalli, this colony called Nampalli. And Prabhupada's Hyderabad temple, he was set up in 1975 or somewhere around there. It was there, just stone's throw away from my place. I never ever heard ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Hare Rama, Hare Kṛṣṇa, nothing. Prabhupada, nothing. The first contact I ever had was when I got the book Bhagavad Gita. Then I read, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I just heard only. I never knew there was actually a society of temples and devotees and structured, the entire structure of spiritual advancement facility. No idea. I was thinking some abstract society means maybe some bus union like that. Some union is there somewhere. Don't know where. I was just thinking it is an abstract, kind of thing. I never knew it was a temple even after reading also. So then I never thought even the person who sold me the book, where is he coming from? I did not even think, nothing. Brain just empty, no, not working. So only after coming here, actually, once I went to the temple, Sikandrabad temple. And I went there because I read some of Bhagavad Gita by the time, or maybe all of it. So I understood one thing, okay, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, fine. When I went to the temple, there were like so many deities like this. Like there is Radha Krishna, there is Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. I don't know who is that. Then there is one Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, somebody like that. I said, I thought Krishna is the book says Krishna is the God. What is this? So why so many again? Why they are doing? What is this? Who are the deities? Also, I don't know what is this. I never knew Jagannath until then. That was the first time I ever saw Jagannath. Hyderabad. I mean, how far is it from Jagannath Puri? Locked. Completely locked. Brahmin family. Upanayanam done. Janevu done. I have sacred thread. Sacred. What is sacred about it? Nothing. Knew nothing about it. Anything. Locked. No access. Only when a devotee, even those who know, for example, those who know the holy places, the Lord, still the understanding, I think Vishwambar Prabhu can testify. He is coming from Jagannath's land. But still he said that when he came in contact with Prabhupada's movement, then he really understood the significance of Jagannath, Krishna and everything. So Unless we we are given the chance by the pure devotee, we cannot. We cannot even access it. So, but the devotees like Vyasadeva and Acharyas, they always what is this? Think about how to, just because they are locked away, no man, let them be locked and let them die there. No, you see, स्त्री शूद्र द्विजबंधूनाम त्रयी न श्रुति गोचरा कर्म श्रेयसे मूढ़ानाम श्रेय एवं भवेदिह इति भारतमाख्यानम कृपया मुनिना कृतम. So this is how they are thinking. Out of compassion, the great sage thought it wise that this would enable men to achieve the ultimate goal of life. Thus, he compiled the great historical narration called the Mahabharata for women, laborers, and friends of the twice born. And I think 7 is it? 6. This is the one. Anartha upashamam साक्षाद भक्ति योगम अधोक्षजे लोकस्य अजानतो विद्वांस चक्रे सात्वत संहिताम. Again, the material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth. You see? So the pure devotees are always thinking how to reach out to the ignorant masses. They're not going to the ignorant masses to get fame. Oh, now our movement is big. No, that's not their agreement. They're not into that. Yes, they want the movement to become big as a matter of service, not as a matter of self-aggrandizement. लोकस्य करुणे अभयम आत्मलोकम आख्यान नमो भगवते ऋषभाय तस्मै. So this is the perfect example of Ṛṣabhadeva, how a preacher should be. He should be, first of all, devoid of any desires and lamentations. Then, Brahmabhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Sthira buddhir asammudho. He should be fixed in devotional service. Brahmanya upashamashrayam. Then he can preach to others. And therefore, we as disciples of Srila Prabhupada, we should not be satisfied by being a third-class devotee. Third-class devotee, he cannot preach. Why? Because he is not self-satisfied. He has so many Shochati and Kankshati going on. He doesn't know how to behave, how to, think, how to act, nothing, how to speak. A materialistic devotee, bhakta praya. So, such a devotee, he cannot think about preaching. He is not himself convinced. But that's where everybody starts, But one must steadily keep himself connected with the message, Shravan Kirtan process, and engaging in all kinds of seva, Krishnartha Akhila Cheshta. Just like we cannot imitate Haridas Thakur, because you see, there is this verse. Shravane Parikshit. श्री विष्णोः श्रवणे परीक्षित अभवद वैयासकी कीर्तने प्रह्लादः स्मरणे तदंघ्रि भजने लक्ष्मी पृथुः पूजने अक्रूरस्त्व अभिवंदने कपिपतिर्दास्ये अथ सख्ये अर्जुनः सर्वस्वात्मनिवेदने बलिर अभूत कृष्णाप्तिरेषां परम. Parikshit Maharaj attained salvation simply by hearing. Sukadeva Goswami attained salvation simply by chanting. Prahlad Maharaj attained salvation by remembering the Lord. Goddess of fortune Lakshmi Devi attained perfection by worshipping the Lord's lotus feet. Prithu Maharaj attained salvation by worshipping deity of the Lord. Akrura attained salvation by offering prayers. Hanuman by rendering service. Arjuna by establishing friendship with the Lord. And Bali Maharaj by offering everything to the service of the Lord. So each of them have exemplified a certain aspect of the 9 Navavidha Bhakti. But it's not that they did not do other things. You see, Hanuman by rendering service, but he also chanted, he always chants Ram, Ram, Ram. All pores of his body are chanting Ram, Ram, Ram. Not only mouth. And here Prahlada Smarane, but he also preached, right? He also spoke about Krishna. But anyway, they exemplified one certain aspect. We cannot imitate Haridas Thakur chanting. Similarly, we cannot imitate Parishad Maharaj hearing. We cannot all the time keep on hearing. No? That does not mean we should not hear. So, that's why for our restless mind, our mind is restless. But how to focus our restless mind on Krishna? By restlessly acting for Krishna. For example, sometimes we can hear about Krishna. Sometimes we want to talk about Krishna. Sometimes we want to space out, remember something, then remember Krishna. Sometimes we want to do something, do for Krishna. So Krishnarthe akhila cheshta. So our restlessness can be dovetailed into Krishna consciousness. Sometimes we want to make some plan. Make some plan how to, say for example, organize this festival, or how to do book distribution more, how to reach out to youth. So many projects we can undertake, right? There is no end to the number of projects we can undertake in Krishna service. So always we can engage ourselves restlessly, but fixed on Krishna. You see, Arjuna is mentioned as establishing friendship. Not that he only established friendship, hey. Krishna said, kill your grandfather, kill your uncle, kill your cousins, and let me show what friendship you have. Let me see. So he tested also the friendship, not like, I will shortcut, I don't do all the hard work, I'll just do friendship with Krishna, you're my friend. Then kill. Then what will happen? Then it tested. Friendship is tested. So every time everything is tested here. Parikshit also not just like, podcast hearing, nice. Yeah, that was nice actually. That point was good. No. Death is coming 1 week time. I have to now prepare myself for death. It was a, absolute focus was there. Not that armchair. Yeah, that point was good. Not like this hearing. Hearing means put it into action. He was putting it into action. He was going to die. So, chanting, not that Haridas Thakur chanting, I'll escape all the things, I'll listen, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. I'll not do anything. No, he was preaching also. And he's chanting, who can chant like that actually? We'll get sick if we chant like that, Do you know? If we chant more than what we can, we'll get sick. You try blowing air into a balloon. You blow about 100, 200 balloons and see what happens. You will become sick. Because it's too much blowing and blowing. That's almost the same thing that happens when we chant more than what we are qualified on a regular basis. We'll get sick. Our dosha will become, pitta will increase everything. So, not that, yes Prabhu, I'm getting pitta, 16 round too much, 4 round. So this is all rubbish. There's nothing activated there actually. Pitta or nothing is moving. 16 rounds, what? 2 hours. It's nothing. So it's not pitta, it's matta. Matta means mad. Pramatta, madness. So in this way, we have to learn from Ṛṣabhadeva, ideal example of devotee, and we should become preacher, second class, not third class. We should come at least to second class. Because Prabhupada said we must repeat, right? 19:152 purport. Disciple must repeat. Repeat means what? Preaching. And preaching means he has to come to the second class platform. So we must raise ourselves. If we don't read, then we cannot raise ourselves. Our devotional service will become hackneyed. It will become not fresh. You won't feel fresh. You won't feel energized every time. We just feel like a bit dull. Yeah, we're doing service but dull in our head. This happens when we commit offenses, or we're not reading enough, we're not following the instructions enough, and unnecessary things will take precedence in our heart, which are not worthy of attention. They will become the center of attention in our heart, and we'll be distracted. So, any questions or comments on this verse? Okay, nothing, then we'll stop here. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.